No, no, no. No. You're on TV.
We are back on the Check Swing Podcast, y'all, with myself and Coach Santa, the brains and brawn of the situation, and with his special guest, Luna. What's up, Luna, with the red eyes? What's going on, Luna?
She
Right.
doesn't have red eyes. She has. She has. Let me see her eyes again. They're heaven gray.
Heaven Gray. Heaven Gray. I've never been to heaven yet, so I don't have anything to compare it to. However, sounds like a pretty cool color to me. When the light hits it just right, it gives it a shade of red. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Well, welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast, y'all. Welcome back to the show. We appreciate y'all hanging with us. We're happy you're here. We are excited. Coach Santa and myself, we are excited. Of course, we're going to get into that. I mean, you could probably guess why. I mean, but with all that being said, I got to ask my man how he's been and got to talk to my people. Miguel, how you been? How you been?
I'm glad the freaking cold is, well, the freezing point is just about gone because my knees could not handle taking public transportation in 9-degree weather every fracking morning. That was fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a blast.
Yeah, but what was it, like 50 something days, so it was good. But as you saw, I have my new friend. Her name is Luna. Luna. All right, yeah, keep eating that. So Luna is a rescue pit bull. I got her from an organization called Barks, Baltimore something rescue something center. She's 3 years old, but I took her to the vet this week, and they actually think she might be younger than 3, which explains why she's 70 pounds and she thinks she's a lap dog, so she keeps jumping on my chest at night. Yeah, fun stuff. So, but she farts like a trucker and she burps like a wrestler. So,
Barks like a trucker and burps like a wrestler. That's an interesting dog. Shout out to everybody on Twitch checking us out right now. Shout out to y'all. Hit us up today. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl. I'll say it again because, Miguel, as you know, us growing up, we didn't get to say that often, really, at all. In the 80s and 90s, we didn't get to say it at all.
At all. It was always...
There was a point when I was a kid where I was like, yo, the Eagles, like, they're not supposed to go to the Super Bowl.
And remember, there was only like what 4 or 5 juggernauts back then. There was the Cowboys in the 90s, and the 80s there was what, the 49ers.
So in the 90s you had the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Packers.
And the Packers were like later 2000. I wouldn't even call them
90s. Later, they won in 97.
Right, 97, and they went 98 and lost to the Broncos, who won back to back. Yeah,
Denver went back to back.
Yeah.
They beat Atlanta when they were supposed to be playing Minnesota. But we're not going to get into that because it doesn't matter.
Too soon.
The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years. For the third time since
less than third time in 8 years. How many times have the Cowboys? Never mind.
Well, I'll mention that later. I'll make sure that we mention that later. But I will say this. I know Sunday at 3:00, this past Sunday at 3:00, Jerry Jones was turning in his grave, seeing the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles playing for the NFC title. And he ain't been there since I was a teenager. And look at all this gray I have on my face. Look at all this gray I have here. I had none of this last time the Cowboys were in the NFC Championship game, nonetheless the Super. And you know what, Miguel?
Sure.
It just kind of crossed my mind just now, right? As much disdain as I have for the Cowboys, right? I'm just thinking about like when they were when that run ended, when that era, the Michael Irving, Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith,
You
Deion,
you mean what- you,
era
you
ended.
you mean when the crack and the heroin and the whores and the marijuana? I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't
So
going to go there, but we're probably in the same area code,
when
right?
you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, there's no other place to go.
Well, actually, I was just going to talk about how they lost that playoff game to was it the Cardinals or was it the Panthers? I don't
Which
remember, but they were not expected to lose, and that was basically the end of them as we knew it then. Because Troy was still on the team, Emmett was still on the team, Dion was on the team, and Michael, I believe, was on the team. But we're not here to talk about the Cowboys. I just wanted to mention that. I just wanted to mention that. They lost to a lesser team back then, and they really ain't been the same since. They ain't been the same since. But anyway, hit us up 669-275-0548. That's the number to call 669-275-0548. We want to hear your opinions on about the Eagles going to the Super Bowl. We want to hear your predictions. We want to hear, what you plan on doing during the game. We want to hear if you have any type of food preferences that you're going to have during the game. Hit us up. Let us know. 669-275-0548. If you're not going to be watching the game, hit us up and tell us why so we can talk about you live on air. And there's Luna again, chilling out with Coach Santa as she looks to her curiosity and sees what she can eat.
give me that.
Let's talk about the game, Miguel. Let's talk about the game on Sunday. Of course, I'm talking about the NFC Championship game. The Eagles going to the NFC Championship game. So I just got to talk about. I'm gonna go back. Let me go back again. I'm sorry, Miguel. The Eagles. Do you realize the Eagles have been the best NFC team this century? You realize that?
I, I I'm not surprised.
They only have one Super Bowl to show for it, right? I mean, you could make the argument the Giants because they have two, but they have one Super Bowl to show for it. They've been to four this century, and this century is only 25 years old. So they've been to four Super Bowls this century. They're 1-3, or excuse me, they're 1-2. This is the next one. They'll be 2-2 after this one. They've been to, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've been to 8 NFC Championship games in the 2000s. They've been to four. They're about to go to their fourth Super Bowl. They're about to win their second Super Bowl. Miguel, is this the best Eagles team that we have seen?
Yes. And I say that because this is the first Eagles team that I've seen in my lifetime where the quarterback play is not the primary importance.
Mm-hmm.
If this were even 3 years ago, it would have been important. But between the offensive line having probably the most gutsiest, quickest, smartest, toughest offensive line in football, to the wide receivers doing the little things like blocking, like holy what? Yeah, they're blocking. And there's nothing else to say, but when you say it's Saquon Barkley, it's you know. But again, I think the one fear that you and I had, and I vocalized this from the beginning of the season, is that if our defense was the same as last year, we weren't going to do jack squat. And they not only did they achieve, but they overachieved. But I don't even say that they overachieved. Like with Mitchell, a rookie that's probably one of the best corners in football. You have
Didn't get his first interception until the first playoff game.
playoff game, and then you got his second one last week. And then you got Vanilla, the White Millie Vanillis of the June and
Super
Blankenship.
Dejeen. I told you get that man's name
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm sorry. I say the June because it's spelled like the June like he sounds like he should be black. Um,
It's spelled Dejeen, like jeans.
is it? I don't know
Yeah.
why I say June. Anyway,
Because when you watch the games, you need to be sober.
I watch every game sober.
Okay.
It's
Just
just,
putting it out there. Just in case.
since Trump's been in office, I've been worried about like ICE coming to the house. But
Oh,
so I have my papers. Um,
you have your birth certificate.
I got my birth certificate. My social-
Because it's a birther, you're out of here. He don't like birth.
and in case of ICE is watching, I have both the properly spelled and the misspelled birth certificates. So yeah, and I was fearful at one point when we lost the linebacker, N'Kobe Dean. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, that was the man there, and then to see his replacement, what's his name, Hicks or Ricks,
Burks.
Burks, same thing. To see Burks come in and not miss a step at all, it's like everything's flowing. But this team, I would say, is better than the Super Bowl team, the Super Bowl winning team, all the way around. And that was a pretty damn good team. Let me rephrase that.
That team, when you talk about the Eagles team, that team overachieved.
Yeah, except for on the day of the Super Bowl, because the only person that needed to overachieve that day did, and that was Nick Foles.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I just remember going into that season like we'll be happy if they make the playoffs.
right, and then after every game, it was like, okay, well, we made it this far. Okay, we made it this far, and then it's like halftime of the Super Bowl, we're like, no,
Like no,
no.
the Patriots, they're going to come back. It's Tom Brady. No way.
I remember they did, and I think they wound up being ahead by like 1 or 2 points. They were like, here we go, here we go. And then I think it was and it's funny because what I usually do before every Super Bowl, like the day of, I actually rewatch that whole entire Super Bowl, that whole game. I just play it.
Really?
So I'll play it like I don't know, like at 2 in the afternoon, and I just let it play because it brings back because when we went to the parade, that's what they actually did. Like if you're walking down the parkway during the parade, and you know how they had those mini screens like at one every block, they actually were replaying the game
Oh, really?
and I think they replayed it. They only replayed it once, but they played the radio broadcast. So you heard Merrill Reese and Mike Quick.
That's all you need. You want to hear Collinsworth.
And it was funny because we were walking up, and then everybody knew when the play was coming. The
Philly
Philly
special.
Philly play, and there was like it almost felt like the city just stopped to watch it. Oh my goodness, that day was beautiful. It was like yeah, yeah, and all of a sudden it was like you know what I mean? Like it was beautiful. But yeah, I made one bad decision that day, so we'll talk about it.
All right. Well, hit us up 669-275-0548. That's the number to call. Give us your opinions on the Super Bowl. Give us your opinion on the Birds, on the Eagles. What do you think is going to happen? What is your prediction? Do you have a prediction? I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl next week, too. So you might have an opportunity to get your thoughts together. I don't know if I'm going to open the phone lines next week because I may not want your opinion next week because next week it might be about our opinions. But right now on the phone, we have a friend of the show is in the building with us. I'm trying to unmute the thing here. We got my man, Mike Knox is in the building. Big time Eagles fan. Hold on, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm trying to unmute you here. I don't know what's going on with okay, here we go. We got my man Mike Knox is in the building. calling us, my man. My man with the Bet That segment, Miguel. You remember the Bet That segment?
Yeah, brother Mike.
Man, Mike Knox is on the phone. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, y'all? Go Birds!
Go
Yes,
Birds,
sir.
Birds. So, Mike, before I get your opinion on the game coming up, give me your thoughts on the game that just passed. How did you feel about that game? Did you feel like it was going to be a blowout? Did you feel like it was going to be a close game? Like, what were your thoughts before, during, and after that game?
So a lot of Eagle fans will, that we know there's 50 shades of green, right? So some fan, I'm one of them. To me, I call myself a realistic fan. I look at it like it's our division, so it's always going to be a hard game. All right, I didn't expect a blowout. How did I tell my wife? I was confidently nervous. Like I knew we would win. I called us playing them. I thought the hype they got because they beat Detroit was pointless because that wasn't the Detroit Lions team. They had 13 starters missing, and not to mention, let's just be honest, it's Detroit. The best thing come out of Detroit was Clarence with real good parents, and now he's Captain America. That's it. Okay, so I wasn't worried about that. So when they got a chance to play Washington, I wanted us to play it at home, and it was just everything we could ask for and more. We couldn't even ask for that. It was everything we as a fan, you could just watch the game and go, wow, they're just really falling apart. So now we got to go finish the job.
Got to go finish the job. Hit us up, 669-275-0548. The phone lines are blowing up. Mike, so I agree with you. I also felt like they beat the Lions. The Lions were a good team all year. They did what they had to do, even with guys being injured. But I felt like that bye week just messed up their momentum, and they just couldn't recover from that. And I guess we benefit. I think we would have beat the Lions anyway, to be honest with you. But
yeah, I think
I feel like the I almost called them by their old name. I feel like the Commanders, they were a good enough team to beat because let's not forget, y'all, the Commanders won 12 games. They won 12. What we won? 14? They won 12. So they were no slouch. I didn't expect the blowout. I really didn't. But they made a lot of mistakes and we capitalized. Something that didn't happen in the loss. They made the mistakes. We capitalized, but we didn't stop them. Mike, you got time to hold on for us?
I'm about to deal with the day with the wife. So I just wanted to call in and show some love. I was on YouTube and I saw you, so let me go ahead and get a call in.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate the call. Go Birds. Make sure you call next week too, because we're gonna be talking about these birds next week too.
I'll call you next week. All right, buddy.
All right, man. Be good.
Appreciate you.
669-275-0548. We got my man. So I'm gonna call him by his name. I'm not gonna call him by his government name. I'm gonna call him by his name that he uses when he calls the stations, because that's when I always hear him. I hear him call the stations. We got Mr. Shorehands is on the line with us. Mr. Shorehands, what's going on, brother?
Go Birds. What's up, cousin?
Go Birds. Mr. Shorehands, I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked Mike Knox just now.
Shout out to MK.
What were your feelings before, during, and after that game on Sunday?
Before, during, and after that game on Sunday. Before that game, I knew we were going to smack them. During the game, I was enjoying this punch on a little boy trying to play a grown man game. And after that game, I said that's what they deserve for acting like they did something the last time we allowed them to win. Because when I was watching that game, when Jalen Hurts got the concussion and went out, I seen my Birds forfeit the game. We didn't start playing to lose, but we stopped playing to win. We said, you know what? If they can beat us, we'll let it happen. A.J. Brown, Mr. Pat, didn't catch a pass. I believe that was on purpose. Saquon didn't catch a pass. Smitty didn't catch a pass. These are all short-handed people. I believe we did that because we decided to start playing chess and we never were checker players with our front office. So it's always been about the main thing. So with the Commanders, those Lions didn't match up with them well at all. So the game was still their favorite. But nobody in the NFL matches up with these Eagles, these big dog birds. Nobody matches up with us. We're the best team in the league, and we're going to show that next Sunday.
2 Sundays.
That we are who they thought we were. Because everybody knew who they thought we were coming into the season. And early in the season, we were trying to get it together with the cohesiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And they started doubting if we were who they thought we were. So we started showing. But we did it Jalen's way. It wasn't pretty. He just wanted to win. I'm gonna listen to Sister Shorehands, my little sister, and say that we was holding a whole lot in because we ain't want anybody to have anything to scout. And I'm going to say the way the outcome happened on Sunday is she was right because the Commanders, Bombanders, shout out to Gilly, didn't have a clue what was hitting them. And we kept telling them, here come this left jab. No, take this straight right. No, sit your butt down.
Mr. Shorehands, before I let you go, give me your prediction for Super Bowl Sunday.
For Super Bowl Sunday,
yes, sir.
Let's go with 44 birds. Chiefs 17. And with that, I believe we beat the brakes off of them. We might not score 50, but we're going to put up over 40 points. Jalen Hurts, another big game. Three touchdown passes, 1 rushing. But betting for 4 touchdowns, please. If you're into that, get that money. Eagles win. We end the main dynasty. And we start our dynasty. The new norm is here.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy it, everybody.
I love it. I love it. I would love to see a dynasty here in Philadelphia. I don't care what the sport is. I would love to see a dynasty.
You're going to see it. That's what we all create. The Sixers, the Flyers, the Sixers, we got some work to do. Don't count us out for the season. We still going to make some noise. We just got to tweak some things before the deadline. And we'll be all right. You already know what the Phillies is going to do. Flyers, it's a new era of orange. The Broad Street Bullies is back, and we smacking everything.
They beat the Devils last night. Beat them, boy. I don't know what the Devils are doing. I don't know if that is a big deal, but that's a rival, so we beat them. Mr. Shorehands, we appreciate the call, brother. Tell the family I said hello.
Always, cousin. Love you, man. Keep doing what you do. You know I'm always tuning in. Let me call more.
All right, love you back, homie. Be good.
All right now.
I was Mr. Shorehands calling.
He
calling up here, yeah, and he so funny. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me turn off the mood music there. The funny thing, I guess maybe I don't know. I guess it was maybe a month or 2 ago. I'm riding on my way to work, and I heard him say, "Mr. Shorehands." I'm like, "Mr. Shorehands." I was like, "I know somebody whose Instagram name is Mr. Shorehands." And sure enough, I heard the voice. I was like, "That's him." Let me text this dude. Let me text him.
So is that just his moniker, or is that his actual nickname? And how did he get the nickname?
You know what? We're going to ask him next week.
Okay, cool.
Because I know he has a business, where he has work that he works with his hands. So that could be what it is. But we'll ask him next week. I should know that. I feel like I should know that already. 669-275-0548. We're taking your calls. We want to know, how are you feeling about these birds going into this Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years? I keep saying the third time. I'm forward projecting the next year. For the second time in 3 years, as they go and take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh, I almost slipped that one up.
Easy.
Kansas City Chiefs there, and Andy Reid. Miguel, let me tell you.
Uh-oh.
This is the matchup I wanted in the Super Bowl. I wanted the Chiefs. I was not rooting for the Bills. I did not want the Bills to win. I wanted the Chiefs. I want to stop the three-peat. I want to beat them because they beat us. And I think it would just be poetic justice for us to defeat Andy in the Super Bowl. Like if anybody defeats Andy in the Super Bowl, it needs to be us. It needs to be if they're playing any other team, I'm rooting for the Chiefs because of Andy and what he did for the city here. Took us to the Super Bowl, never won it, but you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
We need to beat Andy. We need to deny him. And I think this might sound stupid, but I think he would appreciate getting his ass kicked, getting his butt kicked by the Philadelphia Eagles in that situation more than he would appreciate getting beat by anybody else, even though I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate losing at all. But that's what I'm saying about that. That's what I'm saying about that. Next week, we'll talk about what the Eagles need to do to win, what the defense needs to do to stop Patty Mahomes. We'll talk about that next week. We're in the excitement phase. We're in the excitement phase, right? I'm consuming as much football content as I can right now because the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. This doesn't happen often. Like I said, all through the 80s and the 90s, decent teams, not great teams, decent teams, playoff teams every now and then, but nowhere close to the Super Bowl. They didn't even get to the NFC Championship game at any time during those years. At any time. The Chiefs are going for a three-peat. Never happened before. I don't expect it to happen now. But let me ask you this, and this is an opinion, and you shouldn't have to think too much about this. And you can actually change your mind next week if you want. So don't think too long about it. Are the referees going to be a problem for the Eagles on Sunday?
Yes.
Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah. You know what?
I don't think you can change your mind next week. Don't think too long about it.
I hope not. And I only say that because I can't give a definitive answer because just when I think it is, then it isn't. And then when it isn't, then it isn't. One of my favorite comedians, he was on the Rich Eisen show. And he was actually asked a similar question. And he was like, I don't think the referees are fixing games, anything like that. But he's like, I think there's some massaging going on. You know what I mean? But if you notice, the referees haven't really become an issue per se until gambling became legal. All of a sudden, it's the logo is telling you who's going to the Super Bowl, and this team is getting all the favorable calls and stuff like that. So it's like, and I think even on Sunday, I think the referees were really trying to like overcompensate a little bit. I mean, they called the calls that they should have called in past games. Like I think there was a hands to the face, and they're like, "Wow, they called that," and then back-to-back plays, and it was like a false start or a shift penalty or whatever. And they were actually calling these plays against the Chiefs. I was like, "Oh wow, this is fair and balanced." And then came that fourth down play where the one referee had him over the line, but then the other referee had him under the line. So who's right? Now, if you look at it from the reverse angle, even though you didn't see the ball over the line, where you saw his body, the ball was clearly at least because all it has to do is break the plane. It doesn't have to go over the line. It just has to break the plane on the one side. It looked like he did that and then some. It didn't go over the line, but I thought it was enough for first down.
So when I saw it, I only saw it really from the angle that was the back of Josh Allen. I didn't think he got over. I didn't think he broke the line.
So there was a part where like they showed the reverse angle and they showed him with the ball here and he's here and then there's a player that blocks the vision, the line, but his body is still going forward. You know what I mean?
But
So
you
even
never
though the ball,
actually see the ball
yeah,
cross.
so it's like let's say like let's say this is the football right here and it goes here, and then let's say this is where the ball disappears, but the line is like literally right here. So even if he didn't go over like here, if it's even in this range, it's still breaking the plane. So to me, it looked like it could have been at least the nose of the ball, which is why the one referee on that side marked it over the first down mark.
Now the referee that marked it, because I wasn't watching that game. I was watching the celebration. I really didn't care about that game, to be honest with you. I really didn't. The referee that said he broke the line was the referee that could see the ball.
He was the one. So he was the one that was looking. This is the angle, right? That was the ref on this side. The referee that called him short was behind him.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So
here's the just based off your explanation. I don't know which ref trumps which ref in any situation, right? But based on your explanation, it sounds like he probably broke the plane, but you couldn't see it because the one guy was blocking it, and they
you
can't
have
really say for definite that it.
and
That
you have to go by the is it conclusive enough to overturn the call on the field? But see, that's the thing. The head referee went with the shorter call instead of the longer call. So then the question is, well, why did he choose to go with the shorter call? Because at the end of the day, when that play happened, they said the play was under review. So New York called. They didn't. No one challenged it. The New York called and said, "Hey, let's replay it, let's take a look at the replay."
I got you.
So and of course, all of America was like, "Well, there it is." So even
Well,
the
here's the other reason you just reminded me that I wanted the Chiefs to win. I didn't want the Eagles to have to play the Bills and the world rooting for the Bills and not the Eagles. I didn't feel like being the world's disappointment after we beat the Bills. I didn't feel like being the world's disappointment. Got a comment coming in. Daryl said Eagles will win by at least 5. At least 5.
I hope so.
Man, I don't care if they win by. Yeah, I always think of stuff to say that I don't want to say on air, but I think it would be like really funny if I if I said this. I'll wait till after the show. But I think I think I don't know. I'll give my prediction next week. I'll give my prediction. You already have your prediction in there. You put it in the name tag. You said
I'm playing, but you know what makes me more confident about this Super Bowl versus the first Super Bowl? Number one, we have a running game, best in football. Our entire offensive line will be healthy by then. But I also think that when you look at the Chiefs, and they lost only one game, but even all the games that they won, 3 were like at the end of just before regulation, and they barely skated by 3.
that means nothing to me.
No, but
Bengals game, like they probably should have lost the Bengals game.
Right, but no, and I get what you're saying. Like regular season, anything can happen. But they just don't seem as dominant as.
No, you're right. You're right, and they tend to, as I've watched them over the year, they tend to have seem to be less dominant as years go on, but they still find ways to win.
Right.
It's crazy. Like I mean, by the same argument, right? I could say the Eagles barely beat the Browns. and the Browns were complete. They were trash. I thought the Browns were going to be good this year. They were trash.
Mhm.
But that was early in the season. That's before, as Mr. Shorehand said, that's before everybody meshed and got
Right.
cohesive. You know what I mean? They struggled against Carolina. Why did they struggle against Carolina? And correct me if I'm wrong. Was it this year they struggled against Jacksonville? Yeah, because that's the game where Saquon jumped over the dude backwards. They struggled a little bit in that game. I
Mhm.
think I think it was later on. So all teams on the path. All teams are going to have games where it's like they just squeaked by. So I really don't put a whole lot of weight into that. But what I will say is, I don't think this is the first time that Patrick Mahomes has faced a number one defense in the Super Bowl. That's not to say he didn't face a number one team in the playoffs going to the Super Bowl, but it's the first time he's facing them in the Super Bowl. And go ahead.
And they also are not very good against the run.
And that's going to be big.
Mhm.
That's going to be huge. Not being good against the run. Joaquin, I'm hope I'm not messing up your name, brother. I'm gonna just say Mr. Williams says Eagles 31-20. I don't care if we win by 1. He said Kansas City struggled against Carolina worse than us. They needed a clock expiring field goal to beat. That's great. That's great. Ain't
Just
gonna be
don't let,
though.
just don't let it come down to a bogus pass interference down.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Like that's how that got. I mean, it was legit. It was legit.
And kudos and kudos to James Bradbury. I forgot his name.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
No, to our guy for saying, listen, I know what I did.
James
Bradbury. I knew it was wrong, but I just didn't think they would call it in the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, look, I was surprised that they made that call too. Being not just there was the Super Bowl, it was the end of the game. Like, you really don't normally see that at the end of the game, but they threw that flag, and it is what it is. The rest is history on that. That was the one of their three-peat. The first of the wannabe three-peat. They're not going to get that three-peat.
the first peak.
As of earlier today, the Eagles are 1.5-point underdogs, right? So what's that mean for my people that like to bet out there? Don't bet the line, or don't bet the spread. Bet the money line on this one. Bet the money line on this one, because it's basically a pick'em game anyway. So you bet the money line on this one, you'll get a couple dollars because they're the underdogs. You'll get a couple more dollars that you wouldn't get if you bet the spread. Excuse me. Joaquin said the one thing we have in our favor is Jalen is from Houston, like me. And when we say we keep receipts, we really mean it. Kansas City may never beat us again as long as we got Jalen. And what he's saying, right? I don't know if you know this, Miguel.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts' phone, his cell phone, his screen, right? Like the lock screen or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have the hawk on the baseball right there representing UMES, right there.
Nice.
I made that with AI, by the way. Jalen has a picture of, I believe it's him walking through the confetti after losing to Kansas City.
That's a good motivator.
That's his screen.
Mm.
I don't care what anybody says. Jalen wanted the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
He wanted the Chiefs too.
Absolutely.
And he ain't gonna say it before the game, but if they win, I hope he says it. I hope he admits that he wanted the Chiefs too. He wanted the Chiefs as bad as I wanted the Chiefs. And Joaquin said, "Yes, you said my name right. Thank you, Joaquin. Yes."
Good vibes. Good vibes.
I feel good about it. Because you know why? You know why? Because like usually when I see that name, right? I'm gonna put this up there. No, I'm gonna put this up there, right?
Right.
There was, and I don't even know how I remember this, right? Because the kid wasn't in school with me that long. But there was a kid growing up when I was in elementary school. His name was spelled similar to that, but his name was Jaquan. Yeah, it was similar. It was probably a little bit different. I've never met another Jaquan. Since then. I don't know, but when I see that name, I'm like, is it Joaquin or Jaquan? Like I always wonder. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you, Joaquin, for letting me know I said your name right. Appreciate you. Make sure you hit the follow button or the subscribe button on the YouTube channel so you can make sure you catch us next week too, because we're gonna be talking about the Super Bowl again. I want you to comment or call or whatever you feel comfortable doing. But you're the star commenter today because you told me I got your name right. You told me I got your name. I feel good about myself now. I want to tell my job I got Joaquin's name right, y'all. I ain't coming back. I can't get paid for other stuff, so I have to go tomorrow.
Right.
I have to be there tomorrow. He said I heard Jaquan my whole life. Okay, well, you know what? Then I feel even more legitimized that I was like, is it?
So now when he comes on and if you actually do forget, then you'll still be okay. You're in the parameter. You're in the.
I'm never going to forget when he comments. Now, if he changes his picture and comments, and I don't recognize, I might mess it up. But as long as his picture's that, I'm going to remember. 669-275-0548. That's the number to call. Miguel has decided to bring back an oldie but goodie.
Dun.
And I didn't get to study. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in there now. For those that don't know, Miguel and Miguel used to quiz me, test me. And he would pick a player from now or back in the day, whatever the case may be. He would, as you see there, put all the jerseys that player wore, all the jersey numbers, that player wore, along with the team's colors and whatever awards, accolades that they want. You see there, this person is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. This person won the 2018 Walter Payton Award and the 2017 Alan Page Award. Too bad I don't know who won either one of those awards, because I'd be like, hey, I know exactly who that is. But it looks like he wore number 72 and 91 for the Rams. Is that the Rams?
That is correct.
And he wore number 95 for the Giants or the Broncos?
Neither. That would be your New England Patriots.
Oh, okay. And he wore number 56 for the Eagles or the Jets?
Eagles.
He wore number 56 for the Eagles. 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2018 Walter Payton Award. Eagles won in 2017. He was a 2017 Alan Page Award winner. What's the Alan Page Award for?
Defensive player.
I felt like you didn't want to give me
I forget the terminology. You know how they have like the official. This is for outstanding thrusting.
The Walter Payton is the Man of the Year award, right?
Right, and then Alan Page. I'm just looking up what the award is. Because Alan Page was a defense, so I'm assuming that it's a.
Hold on, Miguel. I got to stop you. I almost said his name wrong. Joaquin just said something, and I want us both to look at this, okay? Because this really warms my heart right now. He said, "Are y'all located in Philly?" Yes, we are. Well, we are from Philly. Miguel is now relocated to another state, but not too far. He's in Maryland. I'm in the Philadelphia area.
Baltimorean to be exact.
He's from Bmore, or he lives in Bmore. He says, I live in Dallas. Me and my son drove there to see Saquon Barkley eclipse 2000. You hear that? You see what he's saying? Him and his son drove from Dallas to Philly to see Saquon break 2000 against Dallas. He broke 2000 against Dallas.
I love it.
He said we drove there to see Saquon eclipse the 2,000-yard mark on December 29th. Man, we had a blast. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go Birds!
That's
fly,
what I'm and because he brought his son from Dallas to Philadelphia.
Man, you're an amazing
father. Father, I'm saying, listen, fathers out there. Father of the year. Joaquin.
Man of the year, too. You're that, too. All right, so let's get back to this. He played for the I'm going to say that's a St. Louis Rams, and that looks St. Louis Rams color. That doesn't look LA Rams color. That looks St. Louis Rams. Am I right?
Yeah, you are correct.
So St. Louis Rams.
And the Alan Page Award is actually for community service.
St. Louis Rams. I feel like I should know this. Doggone, this is really bothering me. St. Louis Rams, the Patriots, and then the Eagles.
Oh my God, you are going to punch yourself, and then there's going to be people online that are going to punch you. They're going to line up and punch you. And
it's only the Rams. Are you?
Yeah.
I mean, those are. I'll say so. He wore 56, so he's a linebacker. He's a linebacker. What? But these are weird numbers. Like he wore 56, and he wore 95, which is like a lineman number. 91 is a lineman number. 72 is a lineman number. That's defense. Who in the hell? Yo, this is going to bother me. See,
you're going to kick yourself. You're going to punch yourself.
Yo, if Joaquin got this right, I'm gonna be mad. But I think he's wrong because this person did not.
No, he didn't get it.
This person used to play for the Saints before he played for the Eagles, or the person he said played for the Saints before the Eagles. So I know that is not correct.
Right. But yeah, that's not. Yeah, his answer is not correct.
Rams, the Patriots, and it's that order. It's in that order.
In that order.
He was on the Eagles Super Bowl team. I know who it is. I know who it is. Chris Long.
Dun, 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 dun,
Long. I got it right.
All right, he's 1-0.
I got it right. It's all good, Joaquin. It's all good. Chris, I don't even know how I had to use deductive reasoning and the process of elimination and the Pythagorean theorem to figure that out.
That's usually how you figure it out. And you know what you did? You said it with your chest. Once you figured it out, you just said it. You didn't second guess yourself.
You know what's crazy? I never knew what his jersey number was.
For the Eagles, you mean, or just in general?
In general, but definitely for the Eagles. But I did not know what his jersey number was for the Eagles. I kind of more remember the jersey in New England than I do the Eagles. Crazy enough. I don't know why. Joaquin said, I'm not allowed to answer him. You're always allowed to answer. Mm-hmm. You're always allowed to answer. I try not to look at the comments when I'm trying to think of because I don't want to cheat.
Well, what you just do what you just did, like that. Like you can say, is that answer correct? And I can just say yes or no.
Yeah, but then that's not me guessing it. Like if I see an answer in the comments and I'm like, is that right? And that's not me guessing. I gotta guess. Not to be right or wrong. I can't put it on the people. I don't want the people to be wrong. They can be right. I don't want them to be wrong on our show. I want them to be wrong on our show. Okay. Hey, what's the weather like in Dallas right now? I've been to Dallas one time, Miguel. I was down there for man, it might have been 2025? It might have been 10 years ago. Might have been a little more than that. I was in Dallas for I was training for a Nike golf thing where I was basically a brand ambassador for Nike Golf. Oh man, I mean that's a good thing. It's a good thing, but I'm mad that I missed it. My dad. Oh, that's not my dad. He said it was 60 degrees today. That comment came in right when I was about to click my dad's comment. So Sixers beat the Lakers 118-104. I'm mad because I forgot the game was in Philly. I thought it was in LA, and I thought the game was like tonight. Like hadn't started yet. I forgot it was in Philly.
Oh, you thought it was a West Coast game. I got you on West Coast time.
I'll just have to watch the replay and fall asleep watching the replay. I don't know. Replay comes on late. I don't know. I got YouTube TV. I could probably run it back.
Is Embiid still on the roster?
Yeah, at the moment. They got to have him on the roster. They got a stadium they got to build. They need to sell tickets. That he's actually. I don't. So I
Ever
no.
since, ever since they decided to move it back down to South Philly, it's a done deal. They don't got to do nothing.
So you remember when I said the Sixers going to win the championship this year?
Yes.
You remember I said that on this show? I meant the Eagles.
You meant a Philadelphia team
I meant to say Eagles,
in
but
the greater Philadelphia region.
I'm going to stand on business, and I'm going to stick with what I said because I did say the Eagles will be 13-3 this year too.
You did. You called it.
I said they would be 13-3. Maxey 43 points. Tyrese Maxey 43 points. I told you it's his team now. It's not Embiid's team anymore. It's Maxey's team now. Maxey's taking over. So Miguel, you're gonna have to stop at the Nike outlet in Baltimore because that's where Joaquin hangs out when he drives to Philly to see Saquon break 2,000 yards against the Dallas Cowboys. He stops at the Nike outlet. He just said that. Shout out to Joaquin, man. Hey, Joaquin, make sure you hit that subscribe because you got to come back when we back on, man. Having fun with you today.
You know what? Can I say one thing real quick?
Can you say the what?
I just want to say one thing real quick. I second your emotion on Joaquin. It's just a shame that there's an actual Cowboys fan who DMs me garbage about rings and about Hall of Famers, but has never made a comment on. I mean, I think his last comment on it.
He's made comments. Never called.
He's never called. Because he believes that the Cowboys organization is better than the Eagles and better human quality. All this garbage.
Just in case he's listening right now, I'll make him feel better.
Okay.
He's right to a point, but that point ended in 2000.
That's right.
That point ended in 2000. The Dallas Cowboys have not been better than the Eagles as an organization. I'll even say before 2000, but I'm just going to say since Andy. Let's just say since Andy Reid. I'm going to just say since the turn of the century, just to make it nice and neat for you.
I mean, I don't want to make it nice and neat. I mean, the Panthers have been to the Super Bowl more times.
They've been to the Super Bowl twice. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. They beat us to get there one time. I'm kind of mad about that. But they've been to the Super Bowl twice since. So let's play a little. You know what? No, we're going to play a game next week, but we're going to give a preview of the game this week. Let's just start naming teams that have been to the Super Bowl more than once since the Cowboys last went to an NFC Championship game.
The New York Football Giants.
I wasn't going to name them just because, but
no. Listen.
The easiest one. I'll start with the easiest one. The New England Patriots. That's the easiest one.
Right.
I'll let you. You said when I said when I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it at that until next week.
Oh man, the Steelers.
I'm gonna leave it at that till next week.
Packers.
Real quick before we get out of here, Joaquin got a couple more comments. He said he predicted 15-2 and had Jalen not gotten hurt. Might have been right. You might have been right. You might have been, but I'm of the ilk of saying. I'm not saying we needed that law. I'm not one of the people we needed that law. No, we didn't need that law. I feel like that law has kind of recalibrated them, right? It recalibrated the team. It got them back refocused. You know what I mean? Got them back refocused, and they've been on point ever since. There was no, except for that last drive against the Rams a couple weeks ago, there was no doubt in anybody's mind. So I ain't gonna lie to you, McGee. I was a little nervous on that last drive. I was just like, yo, these fires in LA. Collinsworth mentioned the fires in LA right before that drive started. I'm like, yo, you got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. They're not gonna do that to us this year, are they?
I know they're wearing the PDLAFD attire. I'm like, oh my goodness.
The Mexico FD, the Canada FD. They all did it. He said it's okay. You have to overlook him because his championship trophies got locked in Tupac's. He said this.
Not Tupac.
Look at Luna. Luna thought that was funny too. He said trophies got locked in Tupac's casket back in '96. Yeah, well, yeah,
Luna, do you like the Cowboys? Oh, she's scratching me. Okay, that's enough.
you got to get Luna a Cowboys like chew toy and let her just tear that joint up.
Yo, I gotta find a chew toy that she can't tear up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
There's two toys actually.
You gotta get them college toys.
Yeah, and she's like trying to do that, and it's work. So I'm like, all right, fine. And I gotta get a stronger rope because she loves ropes. But
the tug rope.
yeah,
I can't wait to meet Luna, man. I love dogs. I love dogs.
Yeah,
We're gonna get ready to get up out of here. We appreciate everybody for checking in with us while we talk about those Eagles, your Eagles, my Eagles, our Eagles. And like I said, I try to so I was talking to my dad the other day, right? Real quick story. And he was like, we were talking it was Sunday before the game, and he was like, I'm tired of watching all this stuff. Most of it I've seen already because I've been watching it all week. And I was like, I purposely didn't watch anything so I could enjoy watching all of this stuff on Sunday because I knew it was going to be replayed. Now I'm watching everything I can for the next 2 weeks because I'm enjoying the fact that my team is back in the Super Bowl. And this is like retribution for the 80s and 90s of all the heartbreak and all the disdain and all the anguish that I felt in the 80s and 90s. All the teasing I took from fans that were people that were fans of other teams, like the Niners and the Packers and teams that wasn't even good. They just talk about us just because they could. Where y'all at now?
And it's funny because a lot of those fans were literally just butthurt Eagles fans.
Probably.
You know what I mean? And that's all it was. So they're tired of quote unquote losing, but it's like I don't know. I could never. Like I have respect when we were watching the Eagles Packers game at my cousin's house, and he's been a Packers fan since he was young, and he's never, he started when Favre's first year when he threw like 90 interceptions. So kudos to him because he always stuck with that team. Don't know why, but he did. So,
I saw somebody recently that when we were in the 10th grade, he was a Seattle Seahawks fan. His reason was he would always fan the team, like terrible teams, because in the 90s they were terrible. He would always fan terrible teams. So when they get good, he can say he's always been a fan. Like that was his thing. And now when I saw him maybe a month or so ago, the first time I seen him since the 10th grade, I said, "You still a fan of Seattle Seahawks?" He said, "No, he was a fan of somebody. I forgot who he said, Rams or somebody. He was a fan of somebody, but
probably the Texans or something."
But it's all good. Hey, Joaquin says, "See y'all at the parade." You'll see Miguel at the parade. I ain't gonna lie.
No. I got to tell you my mistake. So you know how the parade route was down the Parkway?
Yes.
Right. So in my mind, psychologically, all right, it's going to end at Eakins Oval. Eakins Oval, for those that don't know, goes right around circle in front of the art museum. So I think my niece we kept like communicating with each other to see if we could try to find each other. And I was like, all right, I'll go to the left of Eakins Oval and just hunt down there. And I didn't realize that they had cut the route so that way they actually go behind the art museum.
Mm-hmm.
And then the street portion was just all fans. So I only saw maybe the bus looked like this big that they were coming down. But we were highly entertained because in front of Eakins Oval, there's these really humongous light poles. And there were people that were trying to climb the light poles every 2 or 3 minutes. And after about 15 minutes, all of a sudden it became there were just people throwing beers at them as they were rising up, and one guy got hit in the head, bam,
On
and
the
then he
pole?
fell. Yeah, on the pole. And every time somebody fell, all you kept hearing was "Boo, you sucker, boo."
That's
But
Philly.
there was this, well, I'll never forget it. There was this one young lady that got up to the pole. Nobody threw anything at her, and it looked like she was gonna fall like this, and she wound up doing a strip tease.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, and she was doing all this stuff. She got a standing ovation. She went down and slid down with nothing but her legs, and 5 cans just came out of nowhere and pelted her. I was like, "This is the city that I love."
That is Philly. Um, on a serious note, there was somebody that fell off a pole in the celebration of a night. They're in critical condition now. So if y'all gonna be out there climbing them poles, y'all need to be careful because the ground ain't soft, especially ground where the poles are built into. It's usually concrete. Concrete hurts when you hit it hard, especially from a distance of like 10 to 20 feet in the air, and nobody breaks your fall, and they still throw beer cans at you. Just letting you know. You won't catch me at the parade. I went to the Phillies parade. I don't like parades at all. None of them, right? I went to the Phillies parade. I got it out my system, and I was just like, all right, I've been to a championship parade. I'm good. I'm all I'm doing is seeing them go by. Like, I'll watch it on TV. I'm not a parade guy at all.
They messed up the Phillies parade though, because remember they said that the system SEPTA got maxed out, and it shouldn't have. The Eagles parade was a lot better because they didn't allow any stops at City Hall. So like the trains were going through City Hall, so you had to get off at 30th Street and then walk back.
Yeah, see, now I don't want to do that. And it'll
Yeah.
be cold, probably. I you know, I wish I lived downtown in a building where I could just watch the parade from up top. I do not I and this is a whole topic for a whole. I do not like. I almost don't even like watching them on TV. Only ones I watch on that I enjoy watching on TV are championship parades. I watch the Eagles parade on TV. I
Oh
enjoy
yeah,
it.
no doubt. There's no yeah, like
But like
nobody watches on it.
Thanksgiving parade, I the
Nobody
Macy's
watches.
parade or whatever holiday. I get big behind balloons floating. Snoopy. Come on, man.
Yeah.
My dad said, if you're stupid enough to climb a pole, if you're stupid enough to climb a pole, you f-
You get what comes to you is
you
what he's
get what
trying to
comes. You get what
yeah.
comes. I think he might be. I'm pretty sure he's typing from his phone, so you know how that gets. All right, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us on the Check Swing podcast. Shout out to the Sixers beating the Lakers tonight, 118 to 104. Without Paul George, without Embiid, they did their thing. Shout out to Maxey, 43 points. Shout
The
out to our
Sixers,
Eagles, my Eagles. They're going to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So next week we're going to be talking about this all over again. So make sure y'all join us again and tell y'all friends to tell some more friends to come with us. Let's make this a Super Bowl. An Eagles party. Go Birds. Look, next week I'm gonna have my Eagles. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put my Eagles t-shirt on. I'm probably put an Eagles hat on over top of this. I'm gonna be eagled out. All right. I might put an Eagle banner in the background. I'm gonna be eagled out. Next week is all about the Eagles, what they need to do to win, what they should do in their parade. They should probably go down my street so I can watch it from my window. And I'll be happy. But with that being said, Miguel, any last words?
the Birds,
Say it again.
the Birds.
Go Birds. We out of here, y'all. Peace.